Well guys, I said I would try and give you some travel hacks. I gave you a video earlier on what airlines I prefer to fly with. One of the things you've got to look at is destination and costs. Now if you're specifically going somewhere, then for example if you want to fly to Bangkok and you don't want to go anywhere else, then just look at direct flights from Scotland to Bangkok. What I would say is sometimes you can look at flying via Dublin and you can save yourself a little bit of money because you don't pay as much tax. So have a look at that. The only thing you have to take into consideration that the flights from Dublin tend to be Etihad and they tend to be 9 o'clock in the morning. So sometimes you have to look at the last flight out of Edinburgh about midnight with Ryanair to go over and then check your prices. If you're only going to save £30 or £40, it's probably not worth the hassle. If you're going to save yourself maybe a couple of £100, then it's definitely worth looking at the hassle of that. If you're looking to fly business class, you'll find that flying business class from Dublin tends to be about half the price of flying business class from Edinburgh. So I would say if that was what you were looking to do, it's definitely worth considering it. Thing is, you might want to book into a nice hotel in Dublin, spend a night in Dublin, have a night out there. Now, that eats into your saving, but it's still worth it if you're going to do business class. Probably not if you're going to just do economy, but business class is definitely worth looking at flying from Dublin. Now, with one of the big airlines from there, such as Qatar or Etihad, they're big from there. Not so much Emirates, the savings haven't been that great with them, but definitely with Etihad, the savings are massive if you go via Dublin for business class. If you're looking to go somewhere, a multi-stop, then look at which way you want to do the route. As I've discovered, I was going to fly into Bangkok and then head up to Hanoi in Vietnam. It was going to cost me £300 more to do that than fly Hanoi and come down the other way. And it was flying Turkish with the 10/11 hour flight into Bangkok from Istanbul, whereas I managed to get Qatar into Hanoi, the 6.5 hour flight to Doha, and then the 7 hour flight to Hanoi, and it saved me roughly £300 doing that. So from going from north to south was £300 cheaper than going from south to north. So these are things to look at, you know, if you're doing multi-trips. Definitely worth looking at different airports, because sometimes the flights aren't busy to some areas that you want to visit, and they're busy in other areas. Bangkok's always expensive. Singapore is up and down, sometimes expensive, sometimes it's cheap. Kuala Lumpur seems to be steady, it never seems to be cheap, never seems to be expensive, but Bangkok in general always seems to be an expensive flight. You will pay somewhere in the region of £1,000 for one of those flights if you're looking to go with one of the big airlines. You might see it down at about £800 sometimes. I just paid £640 to fly into Hanoi and come down with Qatar. That same Qatar flight was just under £1,000, 900 and odd pounds. So again, I could have probably done it cheaper going to Bangkok with Turkish, but the equivalent Qatar flight was roughly £300 cheaper flying into Hanoi. These are things to look at, is have a look at where you want to go, multi destination, then just check the flights, and then because you're going to go to these other places anyway, so just check the flights, what one gives you the best value for money. And as I said in one of my previous videos, I always look at the big airlines first, which tends to be Emirates, Qatar and Turkish flying from Scotland. But if you're looking to go via Dublin for some savings, then you can generally find savings with Etihad doing them. Okay, I'll leave it there just now guys, and I'll post another one later.